Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom of the truth is, with our hearts uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. What them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yup, peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up, that's Hugo's regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so hard to reflect on all the Jews like torture. It's on you, tell the truth.
Yeah, we about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. Listen. Yeah, aim in the fit so you see in the mirror. Play with your focus and watch it get clear. Polish your crown, turn it up if you wear it. You live in the root, release what you're fearing. And watch it all rise, the righteous will hear it. They calling us twisted, I'm not even caring. Because it's unseen, the mind is too barren. They won't even heal it, they pass it to cheering. We over here healing, conversing and listening. Know that the truth isn't always appealing, but end it with healing and find your beginning. Frequency positive, what you receiving. Perception is up to you, what you believing. What you retrieving, mentally speaking. Life that they breathing, no words from a heathen. Don't know it all, but together undefeated. Conversation, rather want it, you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the trial with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that are listen. We the ears that are listen. We the ears that are listen. Conversation, rather want it, you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the trial with the students and teachers. All got a voice, we the ears that are listen. We the ears that are listen. We the ears that are listen, hey. Yeah.
We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. We about to have a good conversation. Yeah, let's go. Praying for truth cause the world is so fickle. Keeping my mental, how clean is a whistle. Attention's a trap, they can lead you astray. Sneering this shit through the storm and the haze. Real conversations are lost in the greed. Others get lost in the web that it weaves. Sift through the rhetoric, uncover schemes. Knowledge inherited, this is imperative. I got a lot on my mind and I'm sharing it. Apples to oranges, it ain't no comparisons. I'm the type that'll never break character. I'm the type to make memories and cherish them. Trust intuition and doubt of disparity. Pursuing the echoes of wisdom. Chasing that moment of clarity. Conversation, rather one if you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track with the students and teachers. All got a voice, who the ears that are listen. We the ears that are listen. We the ears that are listen. Conversation, rather one if you need it. Come fill up your tank before it's depleted. Don't care if you calling on Allah, Jesus, Buddha or Christian, not being facetious. Come to the track with the students and teachers. All got a voice, who the ears that are listen. Who the ears that are listen. We the ears that are listen.
It's on you, tell the truth.
Hi everybody, I am Universe Badger. We have Moon Tortoise.
Hi, Wolf Blitz. Moon Tortoise. Kendall.
And we have Kendall.
There.
I want to start
Sorry,
off
I couldn't
by
get to your messages.
I apologize. I want to start off by saying welcome to Unseen Twisted Truths, the People's Podcast, with the ears that will listen and where your opinion matters. Tonight, we're diving into the raw and uncomfortable space between excuses versus reality, or versus ownership, and the fear of the twisted truth. We live in a world where accountability is avoided, where the truth gets twisted to protect our pride. Although what happens when we stop blaming the world and start owning our own role in the story? This is about more than just responsibility. It's about healing, growth, and breaking cycles and generational curses. So I want to dive into this, and let's welcome Gilly.
Gilly. Oh,
Love.
hi, Gilly.
Can you hear us?
How are you?
All is truly well in you. And you?
Oh, am I freezing or are you?
I don't recall.
I think you're freezing.
You're freezing. Am I freezing? No.
I think it may
You
be
may be
you.
freezing.
I'm
I
good.
can't believe you're freezing with the heat index.
But
It's so warm.
today I want to talk about the raw,
It's very
non-filtered.
warm.
I want to talk about the raw, non-filtered truth of accountability. So when you hear the title, excuses versus ownership, the fear of the twisted truth, what do you think of that there, Moon Tortoise?
Oh dear. Say it again to me because it sounds so good.
Excuses versus ownership, the fear of the untwisted truth, or fear of the twisted truth.
Well, I like how we used a little play on unseen twisted truth. I enjoyed that, but there is a bunch of truth behind it, I'm sure. The first part of that is something I've dealt with my entire life, predominantly through the first 19 years of it. So interesting to delve into this one.
I agree. It's very familiar to me too. Gilly, what do you think of that when you hear the title?
Well, I think there's a part of human nature that feels shame and that will do things to avoid feeling it. And I think that we all do it to a certain extent. I know that when I was really young, that was something that I would sometimes do. And I don't know. I think it's an interesting topic. I think it's a tough one.
Yeah, Kendall, what do you think of the topic?
Oh boy, I'm definitely with Gilly on that one. It's going to be one of those tough topics, but it needs to be talked about with regardless on what we're dealing with, and just being very open and very vulnerable to all types of situations that we're dealing with. So, yeah, it's just being very open with it.
So we're going to start off with the questions, and I want to get into the questions early on because the show is only going to be an hour long right now. So,
well, shall we? What is an excuse you used in the past that you now realize was fear in disguise?
for me, an excuse that I used in the past would have been trying to justify for an action that I did, like putting it off as if it wasn't a big deal. Like, oh, don't worry about it. I really didn't need it, even though I'm over here really needing it. So I try to lessen stuff because to me, feeling like a burden was huge. It played huge in my heart, in my life. So yeah, I try to minimize things, which caused it worse because I felt like a burden. Moon Tortoise.
Drinking. That was my excuse for everything. But I guess that's not really a good enough answer. So I would go with sickness from drinking, avoiding things. I felt sick. And as I've gotten older and sober, I've realized that I'm just a person who needs to isolate, but I never put those barriers up ever before. My house was a party house, so I drank. And then I got sick and said I was too sick to commit to things. But a lot of times I wasn't sick.
Kendall,
overwhelmed.
same question. Do you want to repeat the question, Moon Tortoise?
Yep. What's an excuse you used in the past that you now realize was fear in disguise?
I would say there's been quite a few excuses I would come up with for being unable to do something and never really accomplish the things I wanted to do personally, or just to avoid people in general. The fact I would have a social anxiety, the fact I couldn't do it. And that's my excuse of not facing that type of fear if they're going to go at me or not.
SGF Graham?
Welcome.
Peace. Ask me that question again so I got time to think about it.
What's an excuse you used in the past that you now realize was just fear in disguise?
I gotta think about that one.
I know, right?
Maybe doubt. I wouldn't say fear. Maybe doubt. I might say something like, "Ah, they ain't gonna listen to what I got at this type of venue." I don't have no fear though. It's just doubt.
Okay. Gilly?
I think I can relate a lot to Kendall's answer, as well as one that's been big for me is I didn't have the time.
Okay.
Something
Next
that's very
question. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I didn't know. I apologize. It went mute for a minute, so I thought you were finished, but go ahead.
Gilly, are you
Gilly?
finishing up, huh?
Gilly?
Oh dear.
So what's the next? What I think she froze.
I would say one thing about my ignorance of not having fear is that it would be some things I would tell my mom about, and she would ask me what I did, and when I tell her how I reacted, she might be like, "Fool, you know it's okay to be scared, right?" Like, I don't ever react in fear, so it might be after it happened and I'll get to rethinking in my head what just played out. I'm like, "Oh, this could have happened, that could have happened," but I don't really have fear, just a lot of just doubt.
Okay. Hopefully Gilly joins back up. What's the next question?
Do you believe people avoid ownership because it means facing shame or judgment?
I think it's more of a pride thing. I think it could be judgment and it could be shame, so I can see where that comes from. But also I think it's an ego and a pride thing. I think that they also don't want to keep letting themselves down, a fear of constantly letting themselves down. So fear comes in many forms. I want to say this. Fear doesn't have to be just afraid of something. Even with him mentioning doubt, he could be for me, he could have the maybe fear of rejection without knowing. So fear comes in many forms. So it's not really afraid of something. It's trying to avoid a situation from happening so it doesn't happen. Kind of. It's hard to explain where fear comes in. Fear looks like many things. So I do want to say though, I think it's a personal thing. A lot of it's pride and ego for me that I've seen. You want to re-ask the question and then answer it yourself so that Gilly could hear it because she just stepped back in.
Absolutely. I was also going to ask Gilly, the last thing I heard out of your mouth was time. Are you with us?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you. I just wanted to
Okay.
make sure you got your point across.
Last thing I said was something. A lot of times when I feel like I didn't have the time to do something, and then I look back and see how much time I had. I think my fear, and I know it all along, is based in a lack of confidence. Particularly when something is overwhelming and multifaceted, and that's for my brain to work in that way. And so I will put it off and put it off. So procrastination is probably an excuses for procrastination. I think there are also some hypervigilance things that go into that, because I can't always predict the actions of others or reactions. And so I will use an excuse sometimes of not having the time when the reality is I'm just terrified for multiple reasons.
Could you try to uncover your mic, like with your hand or something, or talk a little louder? I heard everything
I
you
can
said. It was just,
try to speak closer. Is that better?
I heard everything you said.
Yeah.
It was just, it was lower. It was a lower octave.
Oh, okay.
I appreciate that, Gilly. I had to ask you. I'm going to answer my question. Do you believe people avoid ownership because it means facing shame or judgment? Yeah, I think people work really hard to. An example is to get into certain social structures and be friends with people, and that goes with all kinds of people, are people pleasers and variables and whatnot about that. But yeah, because sometimes that judgment and that fear of judgment and stuff, it can be warranted, because certain things we don't really let everybody know everything about ourselves, right? I mean, for fear of what? Right? Could be anything. Wow. That wasn't me. Someone's playing my
That was
CD.
me. No,
But
that was me. I turned it up louder.
okay. So yeah, I got to use some personal examples, just because I was scared that I would never enjoy life again, not drinking, and that was a lie. I told myself, actually, life got way better, and then I was really scared of coming out, um, because I thought I would like lose all my friends, and I would get a lot of judgment and scrutiny and shit, and overwhelmingly I did. I was actually right about that. Like, it's kind of wild. So when does caution become fear? You know, I guess we can, that's how we approach things. We look at fear as a very negative thing most often, but I don't know who in the hell would you know not be shitting their pants sideways if a Kodiak grizzly was reared up in front of them. There is no caution at that point. If you're not scared, I don't know who you are. But there's just certain instances. That's my take on it. People do hide things inside. They don't want the repercussions for a lot of things.
Peace and love. Love with peace and light. Dre.
Dre Kid. Hey, Dre.
Kendo, same question.
Can you repeat the question, please?
I will repeat it for everybody if that's okay. It just makes sense. Do you believe people avoid ownership because it means facing shame or judgment?
That would be a most definitely yes. The fact they can, and it's really up to them on how they want to pursue and taking ownership towards their actions, or just being avoidance altogether, no matter what it may be.
Indeed.
Okay.
Gilly, yeah. Do you believe people avoid ownership because it means facing shame or judgment? I don't. Okay. Gilly, we'll come back to you. SGF?
I would have to say and or both. Depending on the situation, it's probably and or when it can come to shame and judgment. If it's something they have to own up to, that mean it was something they didn't want to own up to. So
Yeah, agree.
Gilly's trying to come back in.
Come back to us, Gilly.
She's trying right now. She's in between the matrix. Hopefully, what did it say? Or honestly?
Drake, honestly, be you. Don't let anyone take away your character. I think that's really important, actually. Yeah.
I like that.
It's simple.
Good,
To the point.
Yeah.
You are unique, and that's what makes you you.
Period. So true. So
bunch
true.
of wisdom from a kid.
Just from a kid. So,
I can't
what's the
attest
next?
to that. What is the next question?
Yes.
Is there ever a valid excuse, or is that just a softer way to avoid accountability?
Is there ever a valid excuse? No. There's not. No matter what, there's not. I know we're going to have some disagreements on this, but no, there's not a valid excuse, because at the end of the day, we allow what we accept, and it's ugly and it's harsh. And at the present moment, it seems scary in the storm that we allowed this, but we put ourselves in position for that. I mean, what made me want to do this topic was that everybody's pointing fingers at somebody else. If it comes to circumstance, it comes to the time they're born, or it comes to the fact of that habit, anything, like my parents were addicts, anything. There's an excuse, always reason why that you are in the position you're in. There's always an excuse, and there's always going to be one until you start changing that position and taking accountability for it. You may not caused it. Being here did not cause it, but everything that led up to it, to you being there, did. So this is your life, and there's a lesson that we must learn. So everything's about the moment. So I believe that I think an excuse is just that. I don't think there's any excuses justifiable. My opinion.
Okay. I guess I'll answer that. Is there ever a valid excuse, or is it just a softer way to avoid accountability? If you take the word excuse out of your lexicon and put reason in, it works differently. Like if your boss goes, "What's your excuse for not coming in?" I go, "I don't know. The reason I didn't come in is because of all the snow and insanity and people dying left and right on the road. I value my life more than even the team effort it takes to make car parts or whatever the fuck." Pardon my French. Yeah, that's the reason. I don't think you need excuses when reason is something you work with. There we go.
Kendo.
Yes.
Is there ever a valid excuse, or is it just a softer way to avoid accountability?
It's definitely avoidance. Gotta stop being stupid and just own up to your stuff. I mean, I was gonna say a bad word, but you know.
Gilly.
We are an R-rated podcast, so I shouldn't.
Henry took the words out of my mouth. I think there's a difference between reason and excuse, and reasons are valid, and they do result into certain outcomes. I think excuses in general just has a negative connotation, and Henry said it.
Okay. SGF Graham.
I hear excuses and I hear reasons, so I completely understand both sides It's levels to it. I can't put it all under the same umbrella. There's some things I hear that sound like an excuse, and there's some things I hear whether I agree or disagree. I'm like, okay, that's their valid reason. Well, so, or it might be my reason or my excuse or whatever. And somebody might look at it that way, but I feel it's both ends.
Okay. What's Dre say?
Dre Kid says, keep your head up and keep pushing forward. Don't let anyone dim your light, y'all. You are amazing and you are loved. Dre's a positive force. Fear is non-existent when you believe in God. That doesn't make sense.
What's the next question?
The next one, as I drop my pen, is how do you personally hold yourself accountable without beating yourself up?
I give grace to myself. I will be mindful of myself and say and if someone says something to me, and if I feel that it makes sense, they're not just doing it out of anger, and they're not just venting and using me because I'm conveniently there, I will receive it. And I will say, you're right, probably. Like, at the end of the day, you're right. Because how you perceive something that I'm doing, I can't say that you're wrong. If it's coming from a place of care, if it's coming from a genuine place that you are just letting me know what you received from me, I have to receive it from you. Because, it goes that way. That's accountability for what you do. Sometimes you do things and there is an action for it. So yeah, no, I believe taking accountability and giving yourself grace in things, because even though we are not perfect, I'm striving to be, and no one can tell me differently. So yeah, that's my answer for that.
How do you hold yourself accountable without beating yourself up? Once you get into a pattern of trying of accountability and honesty, and if you're just honest with people, if you straight up just stop fibbing and hiding, withholding information with people, it scares the living crap out of them. They don't really know how to deal with you even. It almost feels godlike in a way, and it's good. It's good. So once you start being accountable, once you start actually feeling accountable, you'll realize that fear of beating yourself up and the conspiracy theories are oftentimes a facade that we have, because we worry about 80% of the things we worry about aren't going to happen. So yeah, try taking accountability, and it feels good, and you can even revel in misery once you get good enough at it. The world's your oyster.
Kendall?
Oh boy. Well, when it comes to the accountability part, I do the opposite actually. Instead of owning up to the accountability some days, and I second guess it quite often. But afterwards, it's usually the after part of during the sessions of, did I do this right? Did I do that right? Am I in the wrong? Am I not in the wrong? And it's just one of those pinpointing things where I'm always going to be self-critical towards myself if I'm using my subconscious either the right way or the wrong way. And we choose to either act upon it or you don't. So the accountability part is definitely owning up to what you want to do about it with your own actions.
Sorry, guys.
Gilly?
So accountability is something that I was pretty good at for a long time, particularly because I felt like I was setting an example for for my kids. And so I found it important actually to point out when I made mistakes and show them how I'm dealing with it. There became a point in my life where I think I started to take over accountability, somewhat for the reasons that Kendall was mentioning, as far as self-critical, too self-conscious or too over analytical. And even when I knew other people's actions had contributed or had caused or whatever, I would find a reason that something about me was still the trigger for that. So for me, finding grace and accountability is only accepting what is mine and not beating myself up over things that are not.
I like that. SDF Graham.
Simple. I think about it for a couple of minutes. Tell myself, dang, you effed up, tighten up, and then I continue forward.
I like that.
Me too.
Cam.
Next one.
Next question is, this is a good, easy one. What do you think is harder, being honest with others or being honest with yourself? Badger, what did you do to the lighting in there? I love it. Sorry.
Oh, I don't know. I got a lot going on my side. Being honest with myself is harder. I judge myself more critical. So being honest with myself is a lot harder than being honest with someone else. I find since I became practicing authenticity that it's easier for me to even be honest with myself because I'm just putting in forth the effort that I'm going to constantly stay the motion of. So once I'm constantly doing something in repetition, like authenticity, being true to myself, no matter who's around, that I will not have that fear of being honest with myself, because being honest with me was harder, honestly, because I'd say, oh, it'll be fine tomorrow. I'm just going to do it tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to quit. Tomorrow I'm going to really focus on not doing that. I will not watch porn tomorrow. And it was easier for me to do that than it was to be honest with myself. So I'm going to say me over others. But then once I started practicing accountability and being authentic to myself, it was easier. So authenticity is what I say.
Let's see. It's easier being honest with others, although people don't get me sometimes. It's all right. That's fine. I'm constantly in a mental knife fight with myself. So, yeah, it's hard. Yeah, the inside of my head's just a fighting pit. It's just teeth and blood everywhere. It's just conflicting voices saying what's right and what's wrong and asking thousands and thousands of questions. So being honest with myself is painful to do. Almost as painful as trying to break through extreme dissociation when overthinking. It's being honest with others that usually validates the good part of my subconscious telling me the correct things to push forward that actually helps me. So being honest with others is helpful, and it pulls me out of the absolute trench warfare I'm going through mentally every day. I'm practicing it though. I'm getting better. Kendall.
Pretty much the same thing when it comes to being honest with yourself before others, because it's, again, being held accountable within you rather than being judged against others. But it's pretty much, it's always going to be one of those battlefields if you want to talk about it or you don't, and just being fully vulnerable in all aspects. And I'm definitely a downfall when it comes to that for who I am or how I am on a daily basis.
Gilly.
Sure. For sure, I'd say being honest with myself is much harder than being honest with others. I have a tendency to blurt things out anyway to others that I then want to unsay, but they're honest, and so there's that. I think that being honest with yourself can tend to be harder for a lot of people because it might mean that you have to change something that's been comfortable or that feels safe. And typically when the things that we'll lie to ourselves about are patterns. And so when a pattern has been in place for a certain amount of time, it's very hard to then look at it and see that it's not working anymore. So yeah, definitely with myself. Although I will say with the vulnerability, it's not that I have a tendency to either be over vulnerable or not vulnerable at all with people. And both, it's not a matter of lying to people, but it is a matter of oversharing or not opening up enough to form a connection. And both can be pretty harmful.
SGF.
All right.
Me personally, the way that I look at it, whether we was thinking negative or like I was at a younger age, or positive now that I do at the age I am now, I was being honest with myself. Because whatever you think it is, whatever, now my battle isn't being honest with myself, and definitely not being honest with nobody else. It's making my honesty that I have for myself louder than the doubts and the negativity that's been created over the years.
Mm,
That's my issue.
I can receive that.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next question?
Well, the last question, can you believe that? Is when someone owns their mistake, does it make you respect them more or less?
It depends. It depends. It's almost like saying sorry. Um, After so long, no matter if they own their mistake or not, patterns are patterns. When you see somebody who habitual of something and they continue doing it, owning it does not make it any different without change. So I'm gonna say it all depends. I love somebody who is mindful and transparent with themselves and others. But I also love someone that also shows change and action in that change. So I like growth. I like going forward. So I'm gonna say both. It's a turn on and a turn off. It depends on who's doing it and why they're doing it and how much have they cried wolf without really being a wolf, if that makes sense. So yeah. Moon tortoise.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I feel you on that one. Uh, if someone just owns up to being an asshole all the time and they still polarize you with their presence, it doesn't make it right. Um, I guess if they were to say amicably, we don't really click with each other, and we just kind of like don't. You know what I mean? Like there's a way, there's a good way and a healthy way to not be friends with somebody. Even, and I do appreciate it when that's the case. It happens very rarely, but yeah, mistakes, patterns. If it is a mistake and something screwed up, especially if someone's trying to learn something like with an engine, putting an engine back together or something, that's okay, right? I would rather somebody tell me about a mistake than put the engine together wrong and cause a whole bunch of damage. So that kind of accountability, yes, well, often I have found someone goes, "Thank God you said that," or "Thank God you didn't do that," or because everything would have got screwed up. So yes, however, like there's no way in hell I would ever give like Jared Fogle in Subway like a pat on the back and say, "Good job, buddy. You're doing great." Everything's relative. I think there's some things that are just completely unredeemable, and that's not a pattern nor a mistake. That's just a penalty. But I use a way too extreme example there. But patterns are bad and things like that. And yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Kendall.
I would say it's pretty much in all aspects of it. Either you own up to it or you don't. It's pretty simple, straightforward. It's stop acting up or just be completely truthful. And usually, once that trust is mistrusted, it's hard to earn that type of respect, whether you're being brutally honest or not. So it's pending on what the aspects are or how you're being treated towards the other person or not. So it's like a 50-50, whether you gamble or you don't.
I get that. Gills.
I think there's a difference between respecting or appreciating somebody owning up to something and respecting or appreciating what they're owning up to. So I'm kind of more along the lines of what you were saying with it depends, but because of my background, I always would rather somebody be upfront if they're dangerous in some way, if they're I want to know. And so in that respect, I always want somebody or respect that somebody owns up to something. Now, I will say I've seen people who own up to something, and I've owned up to something with a contrite spirit. And then there's been times that I've owned up to something without any contrition, or other people have owned up to something without any contrition. And there is a difference in that as well. And so, for instance, I know people in my past that have absolutely bragged about the thing. They owned up to it because they were proud and they wanted me to know. They wanted me specifically to know. And that did not make me respect them more, but at least there was some form of relief that I could at least hear it. And in terms of if somebody did something, sometimes the things that we own up to, the intentions were good and the results were catastrophic. And I respect somebody that can own up to that. I hope, I'm somebody that owns up to that. And so, yeah.
All right. Celia Gilly. SGF Graham.
I respect it so I can assess it. If they had to own up to it, I knew already anyway. So they're leaving me up to my own thoughts about this whole situation versus they can own up to it. I can properly assess if I want to hang with this person, if continue to be around them. I don't want to, or anything else that I feel.
Yeah. That's you got to make assessments, right? It makes sense. Where'd Badger go? Badger's there.
I'm here. So
That's it.
I want to say something real quick. I want to say that excuses feel safe. They give us something or someone to point the finger at when we don't want to point the finger at ourselves. Ownership gives us power, and power to change, to evolve, to grow, to rise above. So tonight I want to challenge everybody. I want to challenge all the listeners and everybody that's participated on the panel tonight. I want to challenge you guys to drop an excuse and pick up your truth and walk in that loudly and face it. Face whatever that may be that is helping you, that's stopping you, that's hindering you. from going forward, because healing lives on the other side of honesty. And then there's growth. It's beautiful. That's what we're here for. So I want to do our positive messages. And I'm going to start with you, Moon Tortoise.
Now, I have to do the excuse thing right now. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
No, I want you a positive message.
Okay. I didn't know if it was tandem with that. My positive message is that this a lot of what we talked about should resonate really, really well with alcoholics and addicts, because if you're still doing the sober game and you're an addict and alcoholic, or you've been through it a few times, you already understand how important accountability is. For everybody else, I don't 100% know how that works, but it's good. I mean, you don't have to be an addict to understand that. I mean, that's just where I see it from, and that's where I come from a lot with this topic. And it just pertains a lot to me. So I'm happy that I understand and relate to a lot of the topics, or the topic on tonight's show, so well, and I'm able to. So my positive message is accountability is happiness. So practice it.
Kendo.
I'll just keep it short and simple. It's just owning up to your faults and just be honest to yourself completely, no matter what the outcome may be in life.
Nice.
Gills.
Really?
There's always a chance for reconciliation.
SGF.
Positive quote: own up to your greatness instead of owning up to all the bad stuff all the time.
So I want to say this is Unseen Twisted Truth. And the truth, no matter how twisted it may be, it will always set you free. So remember, if you practice authenticity and that becomes your norm, then you don't have to worry about anything else. So if you're going to stay true to anything, stay true to yourself. That's it. Thank you for allowing us into your home, your heart, and your ears, and giving us your time. We are trying to get more viewers to help more people, so we're cutting this short. So thank you for healing with us. Yeah, thank you for healing with us. Peace and love. Oh, I do want to say real quick, Saturday we're going to the Hip Hop Fest. Everybody who's in Mansfield, Ohio, jump on down to the Hip Hop Fest. We'll be there. Peace and love.
Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people. Rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective. It's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is. Where the heart's uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. When them tries to kill you. But with faith you recover. Yup. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so hard to.